The shrew flees from the eagle, yet the eagle doesn't feast on filth. Why fear the hunter when the hunter finds you unworthy of his aim? The shrew flees. The eagle says, "Too filthy." The world was a symphony of morning sounds when I first stirred from my burrow. The crisp air of October 16th, 2025, carried the scent of damp earth and the promise of a busy day finding seeds, insects. I meticulously cleaned my whiskers, a small but vital ritual to prepare for the great wilderness of the meadow. It was in that quiet moment of grooming that a darkness swept over me, sudden and complete. I looked up, my tiny heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped moth. High above, a magnificent eagle carved effortless circles against the pale blue canvas of the sky. Its shadow, a fleeting specter of doom, glided across the dew-kissed grass, a silent proclamation of its dominion over this world. My entire being screamed one singular primal command: run! Every instinct I possessed, honed over countless generations of survival, ignited in a blaze of pure terror. The eagle was the undisputed king of the sky, a feathered monarch whose talons were daggers and whose gaze was a death sentence. There was no thought, no plan, only the desperate, frantic need for motion. I abandoned my half-eaten beetle and darted toward the tangled sanctuary of the old oak tree's roots. The world became a blur of green-brown, a chaotic landscape I navigated purely by instinct, my paws barely touching the ground. The eagle's presence was more than just a visual threat. It was an oppressive weight on the very air I breathed. I could hear the faint but terrifying whoosh of the wind being sliced by its powerful wings as it descended in a slow, deliberate spiral. It was a sound that promised an inevitable end. I squeezed my small body into the dark, damp space beneath a fallen log, my fur slick with morning dew and cold sweat. I held my breath, trying to become one with the dirt and the decaying leaves, praying to be overlooked, to be rendered invisible to the piercing eyes above. Fear is a cold and suffocating blanket, and it wrapped itself around me so tightly I could barely think. The eagle finally landed, its powerful talons gripping a thick branch on a tree just a few feet from my hiding spot. The thud of its arrival was a sound of finality, and I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for the end. I could hear it rustling its feathers, a sound like dry leaves being crushed. I peeked out with one eye, my body frozen in suspended terror. The eagle craned its neck, its eyes bright and sharp as polished amber, and scanned the area. I knew with a sickening certainty that it had seen me. It hopped down from the branch and took a few deliberate steps toward my burrow, slow, almost disdainful. It peered toward the dark opening where I was hidden, its magnificent head held high. It sniffed the air, its sharp beak twitching slightly. A look of profound disgust crossed its noble features. The eagle fluffed its feathers, then took a distinct step back.
Oh, what a positively filthy little creature. It reeks of damp soil, the unspeakable stench of wet leaves. I, a monarch of the sky, would never deign to consume such a grimy, undignified morsel.
It shook its head and turned away, as if the thought of eating me was a personal insult. Why did the eagle refuse to eat the shrew? He said he was on a low-dirt diet. With a flourish and a few powerful beats, it soared toward distant fields, presumably where cleaner prey awaited. I was left alone in my burrow, not saved by speed or cunning, but rejected for being too dirty. The echo of its disdainful squawk still rang in my ears. The terror receded, replaced by a strange and unfamiliar feeling. Slowly, cautiously, I emerged and blinked in the bright sunlight. The world looked different now, the grass greener, the sky wider. I shook the dirt from my fur and let a tiny laugh escape. I had been spared not because I was worthy, but because I was deemed unworthy. The irony was not lost on me. I sat on a sun-warmed stone, letting the breeze dry my fur. The great chase, the monumental struggle for survival, had been one-sided. I had written a story of pursuit starring a predator who wasn't even casting me. I had been running from a monster of my own making. Why do we flee with such terror from hunters who are not even aiming at us? We build prisons of fear around possibilities, not certainties. The lesson settled with the gentle weight of a falling leaf. What do you call a shrew on the run from an eagle? Fast food. Sometimes the greatest dangers are the ones we inflate in our own minds. In the hours that followed, I moved through the meadow with a new sense of awareness. The world was still full of dangers. A passing fox sniffed and trotted on, and a snake slithered nearby. But my fear was different now. A tool, not a tyrant. It kept me alert and ready, but it no longer paralyzed me. I told a passing worm. I tried to tell the eagle I was a limited edition, but he said I was soiled goods. I guess my marketing needs work. I had seen myself through predators' eyes, small, weak, edible. But others have their own standards, preferences, and narratives. A haughty eagle may see filth. A hungry fox may see a meal. A passing beetle may see a giant. A friendly mole may see a neighbor. I was not less valuable because the eagle did not want me. I was simply not what it was looking for. We cannot control how others see us, nor predict their appetites or intentions. All we can do is be true to our nature and navigate with open eyes and a prepared heart. Running from every shadow is to live a life dictated by the imaginations of others. As dusk settled, I returned to my burrow and curled up, for warmth, not fear. Before you run, before fear consumes you, ask with a calm heart, is this hunter even hunting me?